an oddly shaped, idiotic toddler throwing tantrums about not being able to influence elections because nobody likes him and nobody ever has. And you can't come to a birthday party, you idiot.
Take your chainsaw and shove it up your butthole. Right. We're live.
Welcome to the Lost Together podcast. I'm Joe, and this is still my attempt to convince Morgan that Lost is one of the greatest TV shows ever written, produced, acted in, shot in Hawaii, where we'll be going in a couple of months, and storing large...
What, like 3 months?
Yeah. So, I think it's almost right at 3 months, like very shortly after this. And storing large explosive devices in wooden towers. This is Season 5, Episode 3, Jughead.
Jughead. My granddad had a dog named Jughead, and he was great. He was an excellent dog. He was actually some sort of pit bull mix, which I am not a pit bull person personally, but Jughead he was a great dog.
This episode originally aired on January 28th, 2009. So, again, just like last time, still in school at UT, scrambling across campus in frigid temperatures with my iPod. I had an iPod at the time. I distinctly remember, this obviously before. This is back before.
Back in my day.
When you had wired headphones. So I'm just running around campus all day with tiny little wired headphones, trying to keep them in.
I miss wired headphones. I think it's bullshit that Apple has taken away the ability to have wired headphones.
Yeah.
Sucks.
I miss them sometimes. I miss talking on them like this.
Yeah.
So, but that...
made me feel like a secret agent.
Makes me remember my retail days wearing
the earphone thing.
Yeah. But sometimes that leads to calamity if you have those. Because I put this on my Facebook the other day, but... the hardest I've ever laughed in my entire life was because of a pair of an earphone. So in retail, they have these earphones that loop over the top of your ear, and then there's a microphone right here which you can press the button and talk into, and then it sits on your hip. And so there's one day where I was in the back talking with some of my kind of management staff, and we were all standing except for this one guy who was sitting in a chair, and he had his headphone in. And he went to stand up, so he went like this. And then all of a sudden, he was scrambling and clawing at his face and screaming. And I was like, what? Right? And then he reached down and he picked up his headphone and showed it to me because it had fallen off of his ear. And he said, I thought my eyeball fell out. And it just struck me exactly at that moment as the funniest thing that had ever occurred. And I think I laughed for a straight hour. I've got the vomit phobia, which I've mentioned on here before, and I had a panic attack because I thought I was going to throw up from laughing so hard, and I laughed through the panic attack, and it didn't stop. And that I'm still chasing that high.
And they say laughter is the best medicine, so...
Yeah, well, I mean...
Patch Adams told you that.
It got me through Patch Adams and then lots of people who don't want to take medicine. So, they say laughter is the best medicine. We're going to talk about Jughead. So what'd you think about Jughead?
It was good. There were a couple of what moments in this one.
We watched it twice. So we watched it 2 weeks ago right after we recorded the last episode. And Morgan said, let's hit him with a twofer. Watch the other episode and then record the second episode. And we just go back and do messages in a bottle. And that didn't end up happening. So we watched it again just now, just a couple of minutes ago. So
he's casually throwing me on the bus here on Valentine's Day.
Under the bus.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day,
Lost
y'all.
Together listeners and viewers. Especially to somebody, which we'll call out later, who was in the comment section of our last YouTube video.
Uh-huh.
We'll save it.
I know you, whoever you are.
Messages in a bottle. So let's just go ahead and get started with a recap. We'll get into Jughead.
Yeah. So, again, I went into this episode feeling positive because it reminded me of my granddad's dog. So I was like, woo. We start out with Desmond waking up on his little boat. Such a nice boat, by the way.
Yeah, it's a yacht.
Is it a yacht?
Yeah.
oh, well, Penny's got money.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
It's a yacht.
Desmond's kind of a grifter. How did he afford a yacht?
I mean,
got
it's
all
a
that
small yacht. Like,
what the hell ever, man. Like,
yeah,
all that wood inlay and the trim and the walls and shit are wood. Shiny wood, too. Not that paneling shit. Nice shiny wood. That's how you know. Anyway, he's like, I'll fix. Because the last episode, Daniel Faraday is, talking to him at the hatch, and he's like, you got to go back to Oxford and find my mom. So Desmond is waking up, remembering that, and he's going, Penny, I got to go to Oxford, and I got to find Daniel Faraday's mom. And she's like, what the hell? Promise me you're never going to go back to that island. Why are you even doing any of this? Blah, blah, blah. And Desmond's like, why would I ever go back to the island? And she's like, whatever. Also, she's like, I think I started at the wrong place. This actually starts with Desmond running through the Philippines screaming some man's name because Penny is in birth. It's happening. That baby's halfway out by the time that doctor gets there. And they pull out a 3-month-old baby and they go, here's your newborn.
Yeah, not even halfway out. Actually, one of the notes I made about this episode is that when you see birthing scenes in TV shows, the doctor's always sliding into home base like with about 8 seconds
sliding
left.
in to catch.
Right, just like barely making it and catching it instead of how it actually goes. Like, I've seen 3 births now, and it's a lot of the doctor just coming in and going, I'll be back in a little bit to check in. Right, which wouldn't be very good TV, which is why they do that.
Yeah.
But its birth is nowhere, it's not accurate at all.
Yeah, I think I saw Dr. Love like 3 times before Coraline was actually Earthside. And the last time he came in, he was like, if you don't get this baby out, you're going to have a C-section. And I was like, bet, don't worry about it. I can handle this. So, so the baby comes out. Beautiful little 3-month-old newborn. And they're like, I love you. So then Desmond's like, hey, I got to go to Oxford and find Faraday's mom. So he goes to Oxford, and he goes to the lab where he's been before, right? He went when Desmond was running the rats.
Yes.
Yeah. So he knows where to go. But he, before he goes poking around in the lab, he's down at the library talking to some lady. And he's like, hey, I'm looking for a woman, and she is last name Faraday. She's Daniel Faraday's mom, and he was a physics professor here. And that lady's like, there's no Faraday. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no person named Faraday here at all. And he's like, liar, I've been to the lab. It's in the attic at the physics department. And she's like, what year did you come and visit? He's like, I can't remember. Which isn't a weird thing to say. Like, hell, it could have been 10 years ago. Who remembers exactly, So then she goes, can I ask why you're here? And then he's like, sorry for wasting your time. Also, Desmond is so well dressed. I love his blue coat with his like thin red and blue scarf situation and those cool ass sunglasses he's wearing. He looks great.
Yeah.
You would look good. I want to see you in that outfit.
Well, Henry Ian Cusick has a rich, full head of hair and, a beautiful complexion because he's Peruvian Scottish. I don't know if I could exactly pull it off.
Yeah, you could. I know somebody who think you could.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
So anyway, he ends up busting into the lab, and it's derelict. Everything's covered up, hidden away. The whiteboards have been all wiped away, and he uncovers the maze, the rat maze, and some British man walks in, and he's like, "Hey, governor, I wouldn't do that if I was you." And Desmond's like, "What do you mean?" And the dude says, I had to run these rats down to the incinerator. Often. Faraday did what he did.
Oh, did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he says, he alludes to that poor girl after what he did to that poor girl. So Desmond is like, what do you mean? So I guess what I can surmise from that is Faraday obviously was there. And the university just wiped all his shit off the slate. So it looked like he was never there at all. So he ends up finding the lady that British guy was talking about. Mm-hmm. And I still don't, even after watching this twice, that's not Faraday's mom.
No.
Who is she?
The lady in the bed?
Yeah.
That was Faraday's girlfriend.
Oh, the blonde from the picture?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the little British guy is saying, like, he was trying to move rats' minds in time.
Mad,
crazy,
isn't it?
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
That's mad, isn't it?
And they even spelled it on the subtitles, I-N-N-I-T.
Yeah, in it. Yeah.
In it.
Mad, isn't it?
I love it.
Mad, isn't it?
So, yeah, he goes to this lady's house, and she's comatose vegetable. And the sweet little lady that answers the door for Desmond is like, thank God for Charles Widmore, because he's paying for all this. We wouldn't have any of this without Mr. Widmore. He's paying for all her medical care and all these devices and all this shit. So I was like, is that a little slice of humanity there? I think I have a new theory about Charles Widmore, which I'll get to.
Okay.
So there's that little nugget. Charles Widmore knew what Faraday was doing, funded the research, and is housing this disabled lady. Mm-hmm. So, or not housing her, but paying for her to be alive.
Care. Yeah.
Yeah. So, on the island, our group has traveled again through time.
Yep.
And they all get fucked up by landmines. So they split up. Some of them go to the creek, and I think, is it Sawyer that yells, meet us at the creek? Mm-hmm. Idiot. You know that there's people around you who are hunting for you. Why would you go to the creek? Now they're going to know. They need to go to the creek if they want to get the rest of y'all.
How would they know?
They're going to know.
How would they know?
So we got Sawyer and Juliet and Miles and Charlotte and Faraday are all together. Mm-hmm. And this little blonde comes out with a gun, and she's like, what are you guys doing here? And, oh no, sorry. Is this before or after they meet the boys?
Because of the time travel, it's largely
irrelevant.
I
know, it's all fucked up. Anyway, she's like, what the hell are y'all doing here? And Miles says, well, we just got blew up by your bombs. And she goes, we didn't put those there, you did. No, they didn't. No, they didn't, though. So, let's see. Then these two boys show up. They're probably boys. I mean, they're in their early 20s.
Early 20s,
20 to 25,
22,
something like that.
Yeah.
So there's a dark-headed one and a blonde. And these motherfuckers are on their knees, hands on their heads, and they start speaking Latin to each other. The dead language. So they're, like, shut up, don't tell them anything. What are we going to do? Blah, blah, blah. So Juliet walks up and she starts speaking Latin to him. And Sawyer's like, how the hell do you know how to speak Latin? She goes, because I'm like them. They're others.
Bum bum.
These are the original others. Mm-hmm. Which, I still haven't pieced all that together mentally.
That's because it's not all there yet. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So, the one is like, we're not going to tell you anything. And then Juliet goes, is Richard Alpert there? I think she says, like, Ricardo Alpert.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And then John's dumbass says, did you just say Richard Alpert?
She should have said, like, no, his cousin, Ricardo.
Yeah, Ricardo. You don't know Ricardo? So funny. So, that kind of shocks them because they're like, oh, shit, this lady might know what she's talking about. So the one boy starts telling them, like, 3 knots to the left, take a ride at the creek, whatever. So the other one snaps his neck, takes off running.
And then takes off running.
And then Sawyer's like, shoot him! They should not have ever let Locke be the one to take the shot, because that man cannot kill anybody. He's like Batman.
It had to be Locke.
Why?
We'll get into it. It had to be Locke. Of the ones in that group, it had to be Locke.
Because he's the only one not capable of shooting somebody. He's shown that multiple times. Stop giving the man a gun when it matters. He cannot execute people or things. So, anyway, he runs off. So then they make it down to the camp, and Richard Alpert is there, and he's still 30. And he says by the end of the episode that the year is 1954. So he's been 30 for like 60 years. So something's up with him. He's Magic Man. I don't really know what's going on. But anyway, Richard puts Charlotte and Miles and Faraday in a tent together. And he sends that little girl in there, and he's like, take Faraday to disarm the atomic bomb. There's an atomic bomb on the island. Why? How did it get there? Why? What do you mean?
A hydrogen bomb.
Yeah, like the one they dropped. The one we dropped.
No.
No? Okay.
There's a difference. Hydrogen bomb and atomic bomb are different.
Oh.
You remember in Oppenheimer when they were talking about like different ways they could build this bomb, and one of the methods was hydrogen, but that's not the one that they went with. So it's like fission versus fusion or something, and it's the chemical makeup of one of those bombs is slightly different. I know that it's fission for atomic bombs because it's splitting an atom, which causes the eruption. But I'd have to look up the difference, and I will if you continue.
Thank you, Professor. So, anyway, they go, and Faraday gets the little blonde girl to the bomb. And Albert's like, before they leave, he's like, how do I know this isn't some kind of suicide mission and you're not going to like get to the bomb and detonate it? And Faraday says, because I'm in love with the woman sitting next to me, and I would never do anything to hurt her. Romance. I don't believe him, though.
Atomic bombs are fission weapons, like I thought, so that's splitting the atom. And hydrogen bombs are fusion weapons, so it's actually an opposite process. So this hydrogen bomb would be nothing like the ones that we dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Good. Yeah. So anyway, he's like, yeah, I love her and I'm not going to hurt her. So they take off to go to the bomb. And Faraday gets up. It's like in this wooden scaffolding to hold an unassuming looking bomb. I mean, it's big, like it's more than person sized, but for the devastation that one of those bombs is capable of causing, for it to look so unassuming and have a stupid ass name like Jughead and Little Boy and
so Fat Man and Little Boy were the ones that we dropped.
Yeah.
Actually, just looked it up. Hydrogen bombs are up to 1,000 times more powerful than an atomic bomb.
So that island would be like less
Toast.
than gone.
Gone.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
less
More
than
than-
there.
more than gone.
More than gone. Less
Yeah.
than it'd be a whole. Yeah. So and it's like I said, it's like not much bigger than Faraday is as far as length.
It's almost twice as tall as he is, but it's not huge. I mean, it's not what you'd think.
Yeah.
Like we see
to wipe out a whole ass island.
Yeah, but it's not about the size of it because like the
Size doesn't matter.
Yeah,
when
not
it
for
comes to bombs.
not for bombs. In Oppenheimer when you see him building it, like it's pretty good size, but it's still not what the size you would think it would need to be in order to cause that amount of devastation.
Yeah.
But it's just because of the reaction. Like the concern with the atomic bombs was that there wouldn't be an end to the chemical
and it
reaction.
would just keep.
It would keep going until the atmosphere was gone.
Yeah.
There was as they said in the movie, a non-zero chance that it destroyed everything forever.
And they were
just
like,
by dropping it.
Let's give it a try.
And
wild.
Well, but Oppenheimer was literally like, because the general he was talking to was like non-zero, and Oppenheimer was like, well, there's always a chance of anything, which is an insane thing to say, right? But I think it's just showing the differences between those two dudes. But
God.
Yeah.
So anyway, Faraday's looking it over and he notices that, I forgot too, while they're traipsing through the woods before they get to the camp, Miles and them walk over fresh graves.
Yep.
And it's 4 U.S. soldiers. Mm-hmm. 3 of them were shot within the last month. 3 were shot and 1 died of radiation poisoning. So you already know something's fucked up. You know, once they said, hey, we've got a bomb, I was like, something's fucked up with that bomb. Sure enough, Faraday looks at it and it's like leaking whatever's inside of a bomb. So he's like, hey, listen, get away from this because there's radiation. And so the little blonde pulls up her gun and he's like, oh, you're going to shoot me next to a bomb? That's super smart. He's like, you got to get some lead and fill that crack, and then you got to get some concrete and you got to bury this bitch. And she's like, you brought me all the way out here to tell me that we have to bury the bomb? I thought you could disarm it. And he's like, listen to me. 50 years from now, this island is still here. And for whatever reason, that really freaks her out. And she's like, what? What?
What do you mean for whatever reason?
That could just be some offhanded thing that he said. I don't know. That if somebody said that to me, that would not elicit that response.
I think it would if you lived in a place where insane and fantastical stuff happened all the time.
Maybe.
You'd go like, because there's a smoke monster that runs around and picks people up and swallows them whole, and there's polar bears running around and stuff. Well, at this point, there's not polar bears. Sorry, Greg. But there's at least a smoke monster at a minimum.
Yes.
So is it really that insane to say, like, I'm from the future?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Well, he's like, that's where me and my friends are from, and I'm telling you, this island is still here. So at that time, here comes Sawyer and Juliet, and Sawyer's like, you told her? He's offended that this girl knows that they're from the future. Mm-hmm. So they go back to camp, obviously, and then Locke shows up, and he's screaming, Richard, where are you? So he starts talking to Richard Alpert, and John's like, you might not know this, but I'm your leader. And Richard says, really, we have a really specific process for selecting our leadership. It starts when they're very young. So that's why Richard Alpert was with John Locke when he was a little boy, because John says, what year is it? Alpert says 54. John says, cool, 3 years from now I'm going to be born, and you should go visit me in wherever the hell he said he was born. Tucson?
No, it's in California.
Yeah. Whatever. So Albert's like, whatever. He still's not really believing it, and then John says, Jacob sent me. And then Richard's like, oh, okay. Okay, all right. So the flash starts to happen, and John's like, shit, Richard, tell me how to get off this island. I gotta get off the island. Of course, that doesn't happen. And then, flashes, camp's gone, which this camp was like tents. This is like primitive camp.
Yeah, because Alpert says when Daniel's like, hey, I need to go disarm this bomb. Mm-hmm. Alpert says, like, we found a bunch of your people here, the army people.
Yeah,
right?
The U.S. soldiers.
And we gave them a chance to leave. They wouldn't, so we had to kill them, and now we have these tents.
Yeah. So it's like that. It's not like camp as we know it. So that goes away, and then Charlotte starts having a nosebleed, much like poor Eleanor. That son bitch is dying. I don't know if she's dead currently.
And like Minkowski.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Faraday knows what's going down. He's like, but the biggest, like, whoa, from the time on the island, that boy who snapped that other boy's neck is a young Charles Widmore. Mm-hmm. So he's got to be in his 20s, because if this is 54 and then we're going to the 2000s.
Yeah.
So he might even be like 18, 19.
Yeah, like young. Yeah.
So now we know that Charles Widmore has been to the island before. Mm-hmm. He knows about its fantastical properties, mm-hmm. which I assumed that he did, because you've asked me a million times, why does Charles Widmore want the island?
Yeah.
He had to know some shit about the island. Like,
mm-hmm. Also, what did Ben say about when you leave the island?
I don't remember. Can't come back?
Can't come back.
Yeah. Except he has now left the island and is trying really hard to get everybody to come back. So.
Yes, but there's a loophole, basically. Mm-hmm. So, anyway.
Yeah.
So now you know that Widmore was there. Mm-hmm. He's not there mm-hmm. anymore, and he wants to go back. And so now that can help explain why there's like a freighter and there's a bunch of people who have never been to the island trying to locate the island. Yeah.
Also, Desmond comes back from meeting with Charles Widmore, and Widmore's like, listen, bitch, I haven't talked to my daughter in 3 years. Can you just tell me if she's happy? And Desmond could have said, yes, also, we have a baby. Congratulations, you're a grandpa. He didn't say nothing. He was like, see you later. And it was cold.
Matched Widmore's energy. Really.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Desmond comes back to his yacht, and Penny's like, so did you find Faraday's mom? And Desmond's like, oh, there wasn't anything to find. Like, it's fine.
She's dead.
Yeah, she's dead. And she says, okay, so now what? And Desmond's like, nothing. I promised you I wasn't gonna do anything else. Like, whatever, it's totally fine. And somehow or another, L.A. comes up, and she's like, Desmond, what's going to happen if, a week from now you wake up with another premonition? Like, I'm not going to be able to stop you, so we're just going to come with you. And they have a nice warm embrace. It's so sweet. Mm-hmm. So Penny's in it. She's in it with him.
Yeah.
Oh, and their baby's name is Charlie.
Yeah.
Lost.
Did we talk about... I don't think you did. Faraday. So when they're talking about like what Faraday's doing there, and he tells his group like, "Hey, they think we're in the army, and we need to let them keep thinking that." And then Alpert comes in and is like, "Hey, what's up?" Right? And he goes, "We're here for the bomb, and so take me to it so I can disarm it." And Alpert's like, "How do I know you're not on a suicide mission?"
Yeah, I did say that.
Yeah, and I'm in love with this woman,
Yeah.
or whatever. The actress does a fantastic job of selling that. I think she's not like an amazing actress. Sorry, this lady, but she's really good in that scene because she's crying, but it's like just welling up instead of like we didn't get a fat tear. And I made a little mental note about like good for her. She did a good job there.
Yeah, and she later, of course, goes like, "You didn't have to say all that just to like get him to take you to the bomb." And he's like, "I meant it." Oh, you Casanova.
Yeah. All right. So a couple of notes from me for the episode, and there's really only a couple because while a lot of this is just plot driven, like there's not a lot of theme in this one.
Yeah.
The physics department room where the lab is, the number on it is 14208. So 42 and 08, we get the numbers there, right? And then, so I wanted to talk about something that was said here while we were watching the episode. So it's a good avenue for us to discuss, and we'll talk about this, and then we'll talk about your Widmore theory.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you guys a quote from while we were watching the episode. Morgan, John could have ended the whole damn thing right there. So like when
he was ready to shoot
when Widmore was running away and he pulls up the gun.
Kidmore, let's call him Kidmore when we're talking about young Widmore.
Kidmore, okay. I said no, he couldn't. He couldn't have done it. And then a minute ago we were talking. I said it had to be John that held the gun. Mm-hmm. You have to remember there's a grounding principle for why you're watching season 5. The grounding principle is no. Whatever happened, happened. Okay.
Oh.
So when you're
and he knows that.
No, he can't shoot and kill Widmore because Widmore's still there in the future. So it is impossible for Widmore to die here in the past. It can't happen.
So even if John had shot him, he would have survived?
Yes.
Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
But how do you survive a headshot?
But it guarantees, like, again, we talked about this before. Like, does the island have a will? Mm-hmm. Okay. And, you get things like Michael not being able to be killed,
John,
and it's like, so John just happens to be the one. No, he doesn't know. It's just that the island selected John because John's like in this like I'm their leader or whatever situation.
Oh yeah,
and he is terrible in a situation where he needs to kill somebody.
Hell yeah,
John Locke not good unless he's just throwing a knife in somebody's back apparently. But
by
and large, he's not the guy you want if you want to kill somebody. Mm-hmm. So he has to be the one that ends up with the gun because if it's Sawyer, he's taking the shot, right? If it's Juliet, she's probably taking the shot, but Locke is the only one of those that's not going to take that shot.
Yeah, and Sawyer said, like, why didn't you shoot him? And Locke says, he's one of my people.
Yeah. So as you watch these episodes, in the back of your mind, you have got to have whatever happened, happened.
Yeah.
And so is there any doubt as to whether or not this bomb goes off at this point?
There's no doubt. It obviously doesn't go off.
And
ever.
Why is that?
Because the island's still there.
Because whatever happened, happened.
Yeah.
So whatever happened is a grounding principle for the time travel stuff. Anytime you're getting confused or you're wondering, like, why didn't they do this or whatever, it's because whatever happened, happened.
Well, that is a lame time travel mechanic.
Is it?
Yeah, that you can't change the past literally at all, ever. You ever seen the butterfly effect?
Well, okay. So, what's the best way to talk about this without spoiling anything? So, it's very much not like the butterfly effect. Okay, so there's whatever happened, and that means that like past Widmore, who grows into older Widmore, Kidmore cannot die.
Yeah.
Because Widmore's still there.
Right.
So that's not happening. You already know that's not happening. Okay.
Bomb doesn't go off because the island's still there.
Richard Alpert. He can't die.
And he still looks great for an old man. That man, I need his beauty regimen. Whatever.
Well, you know that Nestor Carbonell, who plays Richard Alpert, is my man crush from this show. As I think he is extravagantly good looking.
He's a good looking dude, but I don't like his eyelashes.
I think he's gorgeous. Richard Alpert is a very good looking dude. That's one of those, like, we saw this TikTok about this couple that was like the girl saying that she married up or whatever, and it was just her holding her phone, and I was like, it's not going to be right. But then she turns the phone to look at her boyfriend, and I was like, oh my goodness. Right? Like,
he looks over and smiles.
He smiles. I was like blushed a little bit. I'm like, that's a very good looking man right there.
Yeah, he was good looking.
I know when somebody's good looking, right? And Nestor Carbonell, very good looking. And also, I've been waiting for this episode. All right, because in the past, I'm gonna do a big reveal here, because we know that Sawyer's like Morgan's heartthrob from this whole thing, right? Ellie from The Others is my candidate for best looking woman in
Which
all
one's
of Lost.
Ellie?
The blonde, the little blonde.
Really?
Girl. Yeah, she's very good looking.
Really?
Well,
I never would have pegged her.
I have to be careful here, because I want to be sensitive in case I never want to offend somebody that's watching one of my. It's anything that I'm saying. I really hate the idea of just randomly offending somebody. I know I can't control it, right? But like Morgan will verify. I've got like a type, and Ellie's a little bottom heavy. Like, she's a small girl, but she's a little bottom heavy, and pretty. But the funny thing is that they haven't said it yet exactly, but I want to talk about this too and just ask you as you're watching and listening. So we've got Widmore, which is revealed as Kidmore or wherever. That's so clever. So Ellie, you had this moment where Daniel was getting escorted to the bomb by Ellie, and he's staring at her, right? And she's like, "Why are you staring?"
Oh yeah,
at
and
me?
he's like, "You just look so much like someone I used to know."
Right, and she's like, "Okay, guy who just professed his love to somebody a second ago."
She's like,
right?
Mother.
Because "you look like somebody I know" is a classic like hitting on girls line, because it's
that would not work on me. I would be like, "What do you think about your mom?" Like,
well, it's funny you should say that. So,
is it going to be a Sigmund Freud situation?
Well, no, I'm just saying that, like, to come back to the funny thing for a second, like, sometimes when guys don't know what else to say when they want to approach a woman that they're attracted to and they don't know them, is they'll say like, "Oh, you just look like somebody I know," or whatever. And it's like familiarity. It's just like a foot in the door. It's not officially like they're going to blush over that, like you're hitting on them, but it's just like a way to initiate the conversation. It's like, "You look like somebody I know." And so that's why she's like, "Oh, why are you looking at me like that?" Right?
Yeah.
But so it's just funny that
Who is it? I can't tell what's up.
Okay, so think about the name. I'm gonna try to lead you to it.
Ellie.
So Ellie. Is there anybody else?
Eleanor the rat.
Eleanor, right? Is the rat's name, but there's another L name. Now think she's British. Okay, right? Ellie's British.
Yeah.
Fair hair.
Yeah. The girlfriend.
She would have been about Widmore's age, right? Because Widmore and Ellie look to be about the same age, right? So in the future, who would she be? We know any older British women?
I don't know that the old lady, the jewelry lady. I don't know her name.
Her name is Eloise. Hawking. Yeah.
Who the hell can see a 20-year-old version of somebody and also know their 80-year-old version of themselves and go like, I know you.
Maybe if that person reminded you of somebody more familiar looking, like yourself, possibly.
Say that again?
Well, maybe you're looking at them and they look like somebody that you know, vaguely. Or maybe you're just recognizing some traits which you see all the time, possibly in a mirror.
Is that his mom? Oh. That would be fun. That'd be a fun thing to meet your own mom when they were young and cool or whatever. Yeah,
so you're going to run into a lot more of this season.
Damn, who else is on the damn island?
Oh, a lot of people. And
there's Kidmore out there.
There's one that's so funny that they kicked off this season with that you'll never see coming. I didn't see it coming, but then when it hits, you'll go like, "Holy shit!" Of course, right? Like, yeah. Anyway, I'm not spoiling that one because that's a great reveal. But there's a pretty minor character that is in the past that this season kicked off with that would be really great. And it either kicked off, maybe it wasn't, maybe it was the last episode that it kicked off with. But it's anyway.
And so, Eloise, Eloise? Yeah.
Eloise,
she's the one that is in that creepy church with the big pendulum. Okay.
Yeah.
And she's like, you have 70 hours to get everybody there.
So, also off the island.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, yeah, lots and lots of kind of background stuff happening in this episode.
Yeah, I did not connect. I was like, who the fuck is he talking about? Like, I thought maybe he was talking about his girlfriend.
Now, I will say, y'all don't be mad at me for like kind of spoiling this, but I just really wanted to talk about this before the episode where it's officially revealed. No, it's fine. This thing I'm talking about. The actress who plays Ellie does such a good job, if you go watch Eloise Hawking in any scenes, of mimicking her voice. Like, her vocal quality is so good. Like, it's clearly a younger version of Eloise. They don't look super similar because they don't. This is back when TV shows did it right, where you got a different actress for the young and the old one, and they're not doing this horrible de-aging crap or whatever, which is terrible. I am super duper anti-aging and de-aging software. It looks awful.
I don't know if you got. I can't imagine that you would watch the Super Bowl in Australia, but for any American watchers, you remember that Super Bowl commercial where it was like, now I can't even. It was like in a pizza store or whatever, and it was a bunch of old TV show characters, and they were all in their 20s, and those men are all in their 50s, 60s now. It was weird. I did not like it.
Yeah. So, I want to hear you said you had a theory about Widmore.
Yeah, I think maybe he's sick. And that's why he wants to get back there so bad. Because is it just that he wants to capitalize on it? Surely not. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, he's a businessman. He's a mogul.
He's a billionaire.
Yeah.
You know my opinion.
They're evil.
Yeah.
Intrinsically, yes.
Well, careful. We're going to get knocked down on YouTube, so...
Oh, who even owns YouTube? Zuckerberg?
Well, Morgan does not care about the view count. So you think he might be sick, and he's trying to get back to the island to get healed?
Yeah, I think that he's got some kind of... I want to believe that he's got some kind of, like, good intended reason to want the island so bad. He wants to save somebody that he loves. He wants to be well himself.
Well, I want to throw this out there, too, because I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about Ben... and getting off the island, trying to get back to the island, and everybody trying to get back to the island, and they're trying to save people, or they're just trying to get back to the island. Right. But think about, like, our day-to-day lives. Like, we talk about it all the time, we're super happy with our life, just our day-to-day life. Excellent. We have great jobs, we have a great little family, we've got a great little house, we have a fantastic marriage. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. It's great, right? But if suddenly... you ended up on a tropical island where something clearly larger than life was happening. And it felt like actions that you took on the island were meaningful and serving some larger purpose. If you did that for a while, if you did that for a long time, like Ben, could you just come back to mainland America?
You mean I gotta go do my job again and pay taxes and shit? No.
I gotta sit in on a Teams meeting and say, can everybody see my screen or whatever?
I gotta go man the orchid station. I can't be here.
Exactly. Right? So putting all that other stuff aside, what if it's like, for a lot of these people, it's just like a purpose they've got. So like, I can't be here just doing nothing stuff like this.
Beautiful allegory for faith.
Yeah, exactly.
The island is God, and everything's meaningless without faith.
Oh dear. Okay. What else will you talk about from this episode?
I can't think of anything in particular.
I can't either. A lot and not a lot happens in this episode.
Yeah. There's a lot of information, but not a lot of action.
Yes. So, let's do messages in a bottle. Now, hold on. Here we go. Don't do the obvious messages in a bottle, because for those of you who don't know, we have a very funny...
Yes.
Messages in a bottle, which occurred at the last episode. So I'll read it once I get to it. But I've always got a filter here.
Yeah, and we gotta. Were you able to put the pictures up last time?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna do that again.
Yes. All right, Josh adds a picture of us. Speaking of Wicked, here's Morgan casting a spell on her fans using magic to make Joe sleep.
I don't have to cast a spell for that. It just happens. We sat down to watch this episode, and I was like on the other side of the couch, so I got up and moved over to like sit next to him, and he was like immediately.
So I think I'm gonna omit, for obvious reasons, Greg, the discussions around the algorithm. So there is, without reading comments out directly, we had a kind of average number of views that were happening on episodes, and now that number has dropped precipitously. And it was like an average number that we were getting. Thanks. And so we think it may have to do with mentioning certain people or certain things, which might get you demonetized.
Flipping off the camera and talking about Zuckerberg?
No. You know who I love?
Who?
Elon Musk.
Ew!
Genius.
I don't care if nobody ever sees this. I won't say that.
Definitely not at all an oddly shaped, idiotic toddler throwing tantrums about not being able to influence elections because nobody likes him and nobody ever has. And you can't come to a birthday party, you idiot.
Take your chainsaw and shove it up your butthole.
Right. Not a fan.
Yeah.
So, just in case you're curious. So, let's see. That was a good one, though, Josh. So, Matt, talking about a conversation that we had in the last episode. Commando, tomato. Daniel, the petrol price thing is an economic indicator pretty much everywhere in the world outside some Middle East countries as it's a function of each nation's currency. Yep.
Petrol. I love that y'all call it petrol.
Petrol, right? As we just call it.
Sounds so dignified. Gas. We gotta go get some gas.
We're gonna go get some gas at the gas station.
Ain't got no gas in it.
Yep.
Sling Blade. That's a great movie. Y'all should watch that.
Gas up to about $3.50
Ain't
gallon.
got no gas in it.
Yeah, I got mustard biscuit. All right.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Look what the sight of the can did to the poor little hungry cat.
That baby. You know what? There are cats that run around outside our house, and I have put cans of chicken and cans of tuna out there, and they never eat it.
Yeah.
It makes me so sad.
Well, I think they are not feral. I think they probably belong to somebody.
I think they belong up the road there.
And they're used to their particular cat food or whatever, and they're picky.
Not ever.
I was told at work not too long ago that I have cat energy, and just being picky, I guess, is one of those things. Like
and selective, and
I mean, our viewers might not think I'm picky because I'm eating canned chicken, and I had some yesterday just with some barbecue sauce and rice, baby. That was my dinner. I'm having salmon today. Don't worry about it. So still very cat energy, but having it twice, and a pint of healthy protein packed ice cream, which Morgan got for me for Valentine's Day.
I had a lovely breakfast in bed this morning for Valentine's Day.
I put a little effort in, so rather than just we got a little like a griddle in there. I got some croissants and put some brie cheese and strawberry jam and pressed it. And then also some cinnamon butter. So you got like a cinnamon buttery sweet kind of one, and then a more savory brie toasted croissant with some eggs over medium.
And some fresh espresso.
Yeah, love that. Love that in espresso. She bought it for me for Christmas, and it's my favorite thing in the house now that's inanimate.
Got it off Facebook Marketplace, baby.
So Greg adds, and this is great. This is one of my favorite ones from this week. Speaking of Hurley's mom, Lillian Hurst and I have been chatting on Twitter. So that's the actress that plays Hurley's mom. She followed me a while back, asking advice about, of all things, what to do with her lost scripts. I suggested she keep them, but if she wanted to part with them to donate to the charity Cancer Gets Lost, or you could just suggest that she call into a tiny little podcast and we'll interview her about her scripts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would be a nightmare, actually.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that.
What I'd have to do is I'd have to do like a FaceTime and a screen recording and just drop it in, and
it's hard as hell. I can tell you that. It's hard as hell. I did that for the movie.
We love her, and we do, right? So in case she ever cares, Greg, if you're chatting with her, and in case she cares, this episode, 44-minute mark, We really do love her. She did a fantastic job as Hurley's mom.
I want to be a mom like Hurley's mom.
That last episode, the episode where she's talking to him and listening to all the craziness, and she says, like,
I don't understand you, but I believe you. That's what every person needs to hear from their mama.
And she said it so earnestly. Like
she means it.
Yeah. She said it like she really, really meant it.
She's said that to somebody before.
Yeah. So Lillian Hurst, kudos to one of our favorites.
Also,
from the
Greg, I like to talk to somebody of some affluence like that. Any famous person, even an ancillary famous person. If I got some Instagram famous person to talk to me, like, I would not be able to handle myself. At one time I worked at Cracker Barrel a long time ago, and there used to be this show on TV called Flavor of Love, and it was Flavor Flav, the rapper, his dating show. And there was this lady on there named Hoops, and Hoops won. She didn't win. She didn't win. She came in second.
Yeah.
And I thought she was just the most beautiful human being alive, and she was so nice and whatever. Well, she didn't win. So she came to Maryville, where I lived at the time, and came to the Cracker Barrel that I worked at, and I ended up serving her table, and there was like 6 or 7 of them, and I was so beside myself. I fucked up that whole table's order so bad that we had to comp all of it. The restaurant had to pay for everybody's meal because I fucked it up so bad. And I just told her, I was like, listen, I love you, and I don't know what to do with myself, and I'm really sorry. She gave me a huge tip, and she was like, it's okay.
I'm trying to think of the biggest celebrity I've ever met. I know that I met lots of professional wrestlers when I was younger. If you ever watched WWE, and it sucks because he was cool at the time. He sucks now. All right, so at the time this was a super cool thing, but he actually lives near here. If you guys ever watch professional wrestling, Kane from WWE,
he's our mayor.
He's the mayor of Knox County, which is but at the time he was
county.
not, right? He was just absolutely ridiculously massive star from that time period. So I met him. I met Shane McMahon, Vince McMahon's son, and he sucked too. I didn't like meeting him. He wasn't great. And then I met these 2 guys who were this Polynesian tag team called 3 Minute Warning, Rosie and Jamal, and they were getting off the. So what happened was my dad and I went to a show up in Columbus, Ohio, and we just stayed somewhere nearby. Just picked a random hotel. Just happened to be where a bunch of them were staying.
That's
so
crazy.
like I met them all in the lobby and stuff. It was super cool. So that was fun. I know I've met celebrities. Why am I having trouble remembering?
Hoops is the only one that I ever met, and I wouldn't call her a celebrity. She did date Shaquille O'Neal though, and I think that's why she was here.
Yeah.
Shaq was in town, and she was here eating at my Cracker Barrel.
Gosh, why am I? Oh, well, not celebrities, right? But I did last summer. I got to go and eat with the football team at UT, like the Tennessee Vols football team, and I was, of course, the opposite of cool the whole time. As I just they're younger than me. All of them are like
they're like 20, 22.
They're all like 20, but I'm like, I watch these guys play football on TV, right? And the
one you were friends with him on Instagram for a while. Are you still friends with him?
Addison. Yep, still friends with him. Addison.
Addison.
He plays at SMU now. But
it's okay, we still love him.
We still love him. He came to my birthday party. Like, it was a couple of years ago, and he came and had dinner with us and everything. It was great. This is why I was having trouble remembering it, because it was at that birthday party, but he wasn't there, but he dropped by real quick. It was a wide receiver named Brew McCoy. Now, Brew McCoy is to me should go down in Tennessee history as one of the most important players ever, because we had a 15-year drought of not beating Alabama in the game which we play against them every year. Okay, in 2022, it was a tied game, and we had 19 seconds left, and we just had to get into field goal range, and Brew McCoy made the ridiculous catch. I mean, it looked like it should have been impossible for him to catch it, and he caught it down in field goal range, and we were able to get up there and call a timeout and kick the field goal to win. And it was magical, right? So
it was an insane moment. Even hearing you talk about it, like I got butterflies and like, feeling.
So
I
then,
remember the stress.
It'll be a moment that plays when I die, basically, because like
it's in your 7 minutes.
My dad was here, and my dad's like we're both big Tennessee fans, but Alabama's our biggest rival as far as he's concerned. For me, it's Florida, but that's because I grew up when Florida was a bigger deal than they are now. They suck now, but like they were a bigger deal when I was younger. But Alabama, really big deal, so it was deafening in our house. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
The kids were scared.
It was the March after that my birthday party happened, that Addison came to, and then Brew McCoy stopped by, and I met him. I was like, hey,
he was like, I love you so much.
I think I said that. I think I said I love you.
You were shaking his hand through the rail.
Yeah, I said, I love you.
It was so cute.
And then I said, like, how did it feel to make the catch? And that's all I said. I didn't say the catch in the Alabama game.
It doesn't matter. He knows what you're talking about.
I just said the catch, and he said it was the greatest moment of my life.
I bet.
So, yeah, listen, meeting celebrities is great. I don't know how we got onto this, but speaking of...
Because Greg was talking to Hurley's mom.
Lillian. So tell her that we said hi and that we're huge, huge, huge fans.
Yeah.
So I want to address a comment which was left in the comment section of our YouTube video. These are not technically left, and typically most of the comments we get are on Facebook when we post these on Facebook. Actually, in the comments of the YouTube video, so we got from Super Milk Guy, great discussion. My favorite part of this episode is Hurley telling his mom about the island. Also, Joe is really handsome.
Isn't he though? Look at him. Look at him.
So, thanks, Super Milk Guy. Appreciate it. I would say that I work really hard on being handsome, but I don't think I do.
Yeah, you do? Are you kidding me?
I work really hard on being fit.
That's part of it.
Being handsome is just a thing I think you get naturally. You either have it or you don't. And I guess according to Super Milk Guy, I have it.
Yes.
And Morgan, Super Milk Guy.
I was going to say, hello, I'm here too.
Yeah, well, you're the star of this show. I'm the straight man.
Apparently not.
You are the star of this show. Everybody knows I married up. You married down. Right. It's just nice to get a little bit of recognition every now and then.
The other day, well, I can't remember when this was. We were out somewhere, and oh my God, it was your high school reunion. And some girl came up to me and she was like, "Oh my God, you're married to Joe?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she said, "He has gotten so muscly." And I said, "For the love of God, please go tell him. Go tell him that you think that. Touch him. Grab them muscles. Go ahead." And she did.
Yeah, Paige.
She sure did. She was like, "Ew." And
she did. Like, she walked up. I was blowing up balloons, right? And then somebody. I was not flexing. So she walked up and grabbed me, and I thought it was Morgan. So I didn't like immediately recoil like I normally. She'll tell you like
He's not a toucher.
Ooh, I'm not into it, right? So I thought it was Morgan, so I just like kept going for a second, and then when I looked over and saw that it was Paige, it's just like what? And then she told me, and then also told me that.
So I'm standing in the background going.
Morgan endorsed it. Yuck.
Whatever. I love it when you get props.
Well, I did used to be a lot heftier than I am now.
Still hot.
Maybe well, no, I won't, because you're in it. I was gonna say I'll include that picture, but I was showing
when I
one
was
recently.
Pregnant?
No.
Which one are you talking about?
I don't think you were pregnant.
Just fat.
It was right after.
Wow. Okay.
It was right after, honey.
Cool.
I think so, because it was Miranda's wedding.
I was fat. I was 4 months postpartum. Get off my dick.
I'm not saying anything. I think you're the same kind of beautiful that you were the first day we started dating. Possibly more so. I swore there was something else here. But anyway, thanks, Super Milk.
Way.
Super Milk Guy. Appreciate you.
Yeah, milk.
Oh, there is something else. We want to recognize that most of our viewership is Australian, right? And it's great. We love that. Aussie. And we were talking the other day because we are approaching our 10-year wedding anniversary. So this year will be 8 years. And the reason that I say we're approaching it is because we do have 3 kids. So saving up for any kind of a vacation takes a very long time because it's expensive to fund 3 kids and the gains. And so, but one of the things which we are entertaining as an option for our 10-year anniversary is visiting Australia.
I want to go to the zoo.
So we have talked to Greg. I talked to Greg. Greg has very helpfully provided some very good information about visiting Australia. One of the main things was he was like, hey, what kind of vacations do you like? And I'm like, if it's not hot, I don't want it. So don't send me there in some kind of weird winter.
See, I want to go to England, Italy, Ireland. That section of the world. I've always wanted to go there. But Australia would be fun too. Except I'm scared of y'all's animals and bugs.
Yeah, well.
I don't want to get my ass kicked by a kangaroo. And I don't want to see a spider the size of my head.
I think it was, and I'll pronounce these wrong, I'm so sorry, but some of the names, Cairns, Cairns is one of the places.
Cairns?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was one of the places which Greg recommended.
Isn't that the name of what you call it when you stack up rocks in the mountains and stuff to make shrines? I believe those are called cairns.
Queensland. Obviously, we want to go to Sydney if we go there.
Gold Coast.
I
want to go to Bondi Beach and watch the lifeguards because I watched that show about them.
Great Barrier Reef is out there.
That'd be badass.
Go see some Steve Irwin stuff.
If I don't get to see the zoo and Steve Irwin is my lifelong hero. When he died, I mourned like my freaking parents died. Like I remember I heard he died. I was sitting in my house. I was a kid. I got outside. I got up and walked, just paced the outside of my house, just screaming at the sky because my man was gone. I love him and I love his children and I love his wife.
I feel a little bad for Bindi Sue because, like, obviously Robert is a lot more famous than her.
That's not true.
It's like who he is.
Well, now he is because he's out there doing his thing.
Well, and he does a lot of American TV shows, like bringing.
Bindi was on Dancing with the Stars too.
Yeah, I feel sad for her as another oldest, like you.
I think she's probably fine with it.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. She calls Robert something besides Robert because it was a name that she said she gave him as a kid. And there's a video of it, of him holding Robert, or her holding Robert as like a little baby. And she called him something that was not Robert. And Steve was like, his name's Robert. And she's like, nope, I'm calling him that. And she still calls him that.
That's funny.
So if you have recommendations about places that are great to visit in Australia, and it doesn't matter if it's hotter than the hinges on Hell's Gates when we go, I'm totally fine with that. And Morgan will tell you I will not blow PTO to go be cold somewhere. It's just not going to happen.
I want to go see Scotland. I don't care if it rains the whole time.
Oh, fine. We'll go in the dead heat of summer when it's 70 degrees.
That sounds lovely. I want to see those lush hills, and I want to see those castles.
Oh, in this episode also, Desmond is talking about an island, took Charlie, his son, and how it's a beautiful island. And he's talking about the UK. He says the most beautiful part is Scotland, right? And then his British wife was like, LOL, no, also you broke my heart and my dad tried to kill us or whatever. And Desmond was like, I was not going to mention that to the kids. And Penny was like, well. So, the next episode, I'll have to look it up real quick. Sorry. Well...
No, don't do that. Don't fool with that.
No, I'm not going to do that because that's a problem. We actually have it up in the background. The Little Prince is the next episode.
That's a great movie too.
Kate discovers that someone knows the truth about her son's parental lineage. Meanwhile, the castaways feel the effects of the time-shifting island.
Ooh.
So
Charlotte's going down.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Anyway, anything else before you sign off?
Just again, love y'all. Love you, mean it.
All right, y'all. We will see you in another life.